Good morning, folks. Hope everybody's having a good start to their week. Happy Monday. I just want to talk a little bit about communication today. So, as we know, nobody can read our minds, and we can't read anybody else's minds. So I think it's like super important for us to communicate, to say what's on our mind, and to express how we're feeling and the emotions that are coming up. Especially when it comes to things that people do that trigger us. Obviously, we want to come across as like a really non-violent and compassionate way, right? Not like saying things sarcastically or raising our voices or getting angry, but just expressing ourselves in a super calm, collective way. I think it's very important for us to communicate with friends, family, partners, business associates, anybody really, and just always be speaking what's on your mind so that everybody knows what's on the table so that we can deal with it. Now, the other side of the coin is receiving feedback when people express their emotions. So super important for us to not take that personally, right? Like when someone's expressing themselves, then they're just trying to let you know what's on their mind and let you know what emotions they're feeling and what needs they have as they move forward through the relationship or the communication process. So if someone comes at you and just lets you know what's on their mind, like try not to take offense to that, right? Because they're just trying to express themselves and they're just trying to communicate what's going on with them. So it's not easy. It's not easy to take feedback and to not get offended when someone says something that triggers you, right? But we all have triggers. And we're all going to be triggered by different things. So that's why it's so important for us to really accept that feedback with an open heart. And if it's something that you're saying that's bothering someone else, or something that you're doing that's bothering someone else, or not doing for that matter, then don't take offense to it. But for me, what I like to do is I just say, oh, okay, so I apologize for making you feel that way, and moving forward, I'm going to do my best to not make you feel that way. And it's pretty simple, right? But I noticed that it's really hard for a lot of people. I've had quite a few relationships in the past, like friendships and relationships in the past few years, that people have a hard time communicating. When I say that I'm feeling something or that something's coming up for me, they immediately get defensive and they want to defend their opinion and their stand. But really, it's like, I'm not trying to jab at you. I'm just expressing how I feel and what's coming up for me. And if we can have a mature conversation, then all I want to hear is like, oh, I apologize for making you feel that way, and I will do better. Because that's something that I do all the time. I just try to like completely disarm the situation and just like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel that way. Especially if it's someone that you care about. Like, you never mean to make them feel like bad about themselves, or trying to make them feel guilty or ashamed, right? You just want them to know how you feel, and so that you can both come to a compromise somewhere in the middle. And because as we know, relationships and communication, a lot of times we have to flex and we have to bend and we have to compromise, right? And sometimes this isn't very comfortable at first, but it's super necessary for the longevity of relationships. So so just going out there, just try to keep an open mind and open heart when people do express themselves, because they're just trying to communicate to you what they need as communication, or in a relationship, in a friendship, in a partnership, and they're not trying to offend you, right? We're just trying to communicate, and we just want to come to a common ground somewhere, right? If we're all adults, if we're all mature adults, we can really move through pretty much any conflict and compromise and meet halfway somewhere. And obviously, if it gets to be too conflictual, then maybe we have to take steps back and reevaluate the situation. But for the most part, like, conflict can be resolved if two mature adults can really work on